Hello, Matilda. Are you there? I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming to my birthday party yesterday. And thank you so much for helping with the cooking as well. The steaks that you brought were the star of the show.
Hello, Debbie. I'm really happy that you enjoyed them. The pleasure was all mine.
By the way, there was actually something that I wanted to talk to you about that I wasn't able to mention yesterday. I was just wondering if there have been any developments on the kid front?
The kid front? You mean you're curious when your son and I are going to have kids?
Well, I know that this isn't the first time we've talked about this subject, and you know how badly I want to have grandkids so soon as possible.
I know. And I thought that we agreed on the other times that we've talked about this was that it was going to be a decision between Max and I, right?
You really think that excuse is still going to work on me? You and my son have been married for 3 whole years already, and soon it's going to be a 4th. I want my grandchildren, and I want them now, young lady.
Well, we are trying our best, Debbie.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Are you getting some kind of fertility treatment done or something like that? Don't tell me that you went to a doctor and they told you that you couldn't even have kids.
No, it's nothing like that at all, thank you very much.
Well, then you must not be trying very hard, since there are still no grandkids that I have. Maybe you should go see a doctor and have them take a look at you. Because at this point, Max's younger brother is going to be giving me grandkids before you do. After all, his wife is still young, and it's much more likely to work out. Although I have to say that this whole situation just makes me ashamed of my eldest son.
I really don't think that a baby should be something that is rushed or just done to fulfill a sense of obligation. Wouldn't you prefer that Max and I have a child on our own terms?
At this rate, Max isn't even going to take over his father's company, even though he's the eldest child.
Sorry, what do you mean by that? Was Max even supposed to take over your husband's company? Because he's already not working for the family business anymore. He works for another company right now.
I know that he's working for a different company now, but I'm still going to have him take over the company when his father retires. If I'm being honest with you, Max's little brother John really isn't the brightest when it comes to business stuff. Not to mention that he's even living at home with me since he's been having money problems, but I won't hesitate to give him the job over Max.
Well, I really don't know how else to tell you this, but I don't really think that Max even wants his dad's job, so...
What are you talking about? That can't be right at all. This is his family's legacy, Max's birthright. Of course he wants to take over the family business.
Well, I heard that you and him already talked about this and that he said he didn't want it.
I know, but the last time we talked about this, Max was still too young to really understand. I'm just sure of it that he's come around and would love to run the family business. He just needed a bit more time to mature and see things my way.
I'm really not so sure about that, Debbie.
Well, thankfully, this is something that really doesn't involve you anyways. So how about you just worry about making me my grandchildren? And tell Max that he needs to be a good eldest son for his family. If you don't do this, well, let's just say that there are plenty of pretty young women who would love to be married to a man like my son. So if you don't want him to leave you, I recommend showing some initiative.
Debbie, you can't honestly think that you have the power to make Max and I get a divorce, right?
You really have no idea just where you stand, do you? I am sick and tired of arguing. Just give me babies now. Honestly, you should just quit your job and focus entirely on trying to become a mother for my future grandchildren. You are going to get pregnant by the end of the year, or else. And if you can't, then you can go ahead and kiss your marriage to Max goodbye. Hello there, Matilda. I just wanted to let you know that John's wife Rachel is pregnant.
Oh, really? Well, that's great news. I should call and congratulate her.
Not only that, but she already knows that it's going to be a girl.
Oh, I see. Well, that's amazing. I bet she must be so excited to have a beautiful baby daughter on the way.
Are you being serious right now? Don't you realize this means she's going to beat you?
You mean she's going to have a child before I do? I don't really care about that at all.
You mean you really think that this is a good thing? This isn't a good thing at all. Besides, what am I supposed to do with a useless granddaughter, huh? All this proves is that Rachel is a horrible wife and an even worse daughter-in-law.
I'm sorry, but how does having a daughter make her any of those things at all? I really think that you need to get out of this antiquated mindset when it comes to family legacies and inheritance.
You mean that you think it's fine if my husband's company was taken over by a woman?
I think that your husband's company should be taken over by whoever is most qualified for the position, man or woman.
Oh, I see what's going on here. I suppose I should have expected as much from a lowly office grunt like you. You're just incapable of understanding how things work on this high of a level. And more importantly, are you pregnant yet?
Nope, I am still not pregnant, thank you for asking.
You really must think that you're going to be young forever or something like that, huh? Don't you realize that you're already in your 30s? You need to think about having children now before it's too late.
Thank you for your concern, Debbie. I will be sure to put some thought into that.
I really don't think that you will, though. I mean, if you did, then you would already be pregnant by now. I want you to go to a doctor next week. Make an appointment right now.
And just why would I need to go to the doctor's?
Well, because I heard from a friend that she was able to get treatment for her fertility issues by seeing a doctor about them. So I think that you should go and figure out what's wrong with you.
Actually, there was something that I wanted to talk to you about all of this pregnancy business.
Oh, really? Well, what is it?
I just think you should know that I talked to Max about this too. He told me that if you said anything about me being pregnant again, that I should tell this to you. And the truth is that we're already seeking medical help for fertility issues.
I knew it. I knew that you couldn't have children.
Well, not quite. You see, the doctors found that I wasn't the one with the issue. It was actually Max.
Wait a second. You're telling me that Max is the one with trouble getting you pregnant?
It appears that way. Now, I don't really know the medical explanation for all of it. For that, you would have to call Max and talk to him yourself. I'm sure that he'd be able to explain things to you better than I could.
This can't be, right? I don't believe it. You're telling me that there's something wrong with my son's... the swimmers?
Again, I really am not the right person to be asking these questions to.
No, I don't believe it. You're lying to me. You have to be. I know that my son is the poster child of good health. He's hardly ever been sick, even when he was little.
Well, I am not lying to you. I'm just telling you what he has passed along to me.
I don't believe it. I have to go and talk to Max right now.
Yeah, I think that would be better than this. But anyways, that's why I didn't think you were going to be able to split us up for not having any kids together. And I'll never leave my husband just because of his condition. I promise you that.
That isn't why I want to go and talk to him. I want to talk to him because if I find out that you're lying to me, then I really will make him leave you. If it's really you who can't have kids, then I'm going to make you pay for lying to me like that. Hey there, Matilda. Is now a good time to message you?
Oh, hey, Rachel. It's been a long time, no? Also, I heard that you were pregnant. So let me just say congratulations on that. If there's anything you need help with or anything I can do for you, just let me know.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Matilda. Although, you wouldn't guess this was a good thing from the reactions we've gotten over here.
Oh, you mean over there as in Debbie's house? I understand she's kind of upset about it being a girl.
That's right. And to think that someone could really even care about that in this day and age. I'm being treated as if I chose the sex of the baby on purpose just to disappoint Debbie or something.
I've been thinking about that a lot recently. Are you sure that it's a good idea for you to both live in that house? I mean, it just seems like Debbie and them are being really mean to you and putting you through a lot.
It's true, though. I was worried when I first moved in here, but now I just regret doing it at all. But that's why John and I are coming up with a plan in secret to get out of this situation.
But won't that be really difficult for you while you're pregnant? Although even I've been thinking that it would be good to look for ways to put distance between Debbie and myself. And I know that if I had a kid on the way, I would want them to be in as safe an environment as possible.
Thank you so much for understanding, Matilda, but, this isn't even what I wanted to talk to you about in the first place.
Oh, right. Well, I guess we should just get into it then.
Well, I heard that you were going to be visiting next week, but whatever you do, don't come, okay?
Wait, what? I wasn't expecting this. Where is this all coming from?
Well, it's just, people are acting really strangely around here, so whatever you do, don't come.
I don't understand what you mean by that. I mean, isn't it just going to be our husband's family there? What do you mean they're acting weird? Weird how?
I mean, they've just not been acting like themselves. And what's worse, I think they're going to try and make you have a kid with some stranger.
What do you mean, some stranger? What does that even mean? I'm sorry, but I'm really not understanding what you're trying to tell me. But whatever it is, it really doesn't sound good at all.
I mean that you were going to be coming to stay with us next week, isn't that right?
Yeah, that is right. I was going to go over and maybe spend a couple nights.
Well, the thing is that I heard Debbie talking about setting up separate rooms for you and Max. And I think they're going to use that to bring in this strange guy.
But what in the world is going on over there? Don't they realize it's a crime?
I know, it's just terrible, but I really do think that they're up to something around here. The other night, I got up to use the bathroom and I heard John's parents talking to each other late at night. I almost thought I was dreaming because what they were saying was so crazy. But it was real, and that's really what they were talking about.
Now that you say that, Debbie was uncharacteristically nice to me when she invited us over the other day.
Well, I also heard from Debbie that you told her Max was having some fertility issues. Is that right?
Yeah, it is true, unfortunately. But we're still not giving up on having kids. And there's no way that not having kids would ever drive us apart anyways.
Of course not. You two married each other because you love each other. I feel the same way about John.
But then, what is Debbie's problem? Why is she acting like this? I don't get it. Doesn't she understand how ridiculous she's being? Although now I have to wonder about what she might have in store for me if even I say that I'm not going next week.
I know what you mean. At this point, it might be best to just cut her out of our lives entirely.
I know, but don't you worry that that would mean you would be the target of Debbie's ire? I mean, if Max and I tried to run away, then there's no way that she would ever let you and John go. Especially since you're pregnant. That just adds a whole new layer to worry about.
I know, but don't you get that you're in danger right now, Matilda?
It's okay. It might be a long shot, but I think I have a good idea of how we can all get out of this okay.
You have an idea of what to do about Debbie? But what is it?
Well, in order for this to work, I'll have to go to Debbie's house next week. But after that, she should stay out of our lives. Forever.
Hello there, Matilda. I really hope that you're not thinking of going to the police about this. I just hope you know that this won't go well for you if you do. And just think about what's going to happen to us. You'll completely ruin our family business.
And just why in the world do you think I should care about that?
Because you married into our family. You have duties to us.
And is that why you sicked some strange man on me while I was alone in my room? Thankfully, your sons and Rachel were there to stop anything terrible from happening. If I'd been all by myself, then who knows what would have happened. But I suppose that's how you pictured it when you planned this. I don't care if you are my mother-in-law. I don't have to take being treated like this.
But surely you see that I was doing all this for you, right? I mean, I was just so worried about you not having any children yet. And since I found out that you weren't the one with the fertility issues, I just figured that this would work.
What would work? That I would just carry some complete stranger's child to term with no questions asked?
Well, I just assumed that you would be asleep and that man could sneak into your room while you were asleep.
Yeah, I'm sure that you would have preferred it if I never noticed what was going on.
But I just thought that if you got pregnant, that it would bring you and Max closer together. I was only doing this for you and Max. Can't you see that?
And just how in the world was me having another man's baby supposed to bring Max and I closer together? This wasn't for either of us. This is all for you. You're the one who is most hung up on this baby issue. And when you found out that it was actually your son with the fertility issues, you just couldn't stand that, could you?
But you don't understand. We don't have someone to take on the family's mantle after Max and John.
Well, now you have no one to take on the mantle since neither John nor Max want anything to do with the family business at all anymore. And even if we did have a son, there's no way that we would let you decide what his life would be. Our child's future would be up to us as parents and our child themselves.
But that can't be. Our company has always had a male president. Max is going to take over, and then your future son was going to take over after Max.
Well, Max said that he doesn't want to work for a company that would do something like this just to find an heir. Not only that, but he knows all about how the company has been going into the red so that you and your husband could line your pockets. What's the point of working for a company that exploits their workers like you do?
Please, you can't do this to us. You're going to destroy all that our ancestors have worked for. At least hand over your child to me when he's born so that I can raise him.
Did you seriously just ask me that? You really think that I would ever do something like that? You really need to get a grip, lady! Because what you just attempted was a crime. You do realize that, don't you?
I know. It was bad, I know, but I promise that I'll never, ever say other things about having kids as long as you don't go to the cops about this.
I think I'll have to give that a thought after Rachel and John move out.
No! You have to promise me that you won't ever go to the police right now. If the cops get involved, then that means our family's name is going to be dragged through the mud. I need you to promise me right now, or else I'll never be able to sleep.
Well, if you're worried about protecting your reputation, then you should have never done this in the first place. Not only that, but Max and I are also going to cut you out of our lives. We don't want anything to do with you anymore.
What do you mean? You can't do that. I'm Max's mother. I'm your mother-in-law. You can't just cut us out so easily.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about that, because it's already happened. In fact, Max has told the rest of your family about this.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean?
I mean that Max let everyone know what you were plotting to do, and asked them all to think very hard about associating with you in the future.
But then, that means that all our relatives already know about this.
That's right. We've told them everything that you were planning, and now they know what you tried to put me through.
You have to stop this, please! Tell them you were lying to me. Don't you realize the rumors that are going to be caused from this?
Rumors? Don't you mean the truth? Because that's all that I told them. I never said anything that wasn't true.
Please, you have to make this stop. I'm so sorry for everything. I'm sorry, okay? Just please, don't go to the police and tell my relatives that you were lying.
I'm not going to do that. You'll just have to learn how to live with the consequences of what you've done. I don't have anything to do with you anymore. And if you try to do anything to get back at me for this, I will not hesitate to drag you to court for this. After that, John and Rachel were able to safely move out of Debbie's house. They cut off John's parents and never, ever heard from them again. As for me, I still haven't filed a police report about this. But I did make Debbie and her husband swear to leave Rachel and John alone. I even got it in writing. I told them that if they ever broke their promises that I would drag them to court and sue them for their sick baby-making scheme. Then I told them to stay away from Max and I as well. It isn't that I didn't want to go to the police about this, but I understood that I had leverage and wanted to do whatever I could to make sure that Rachel and her baby were safe. A few months later, Max's family business finally went bankrupt under his father's management. There was even an article about how the company lacked any heir in the family willing to step up and try to fix the business's troubles. Last I heard, Max's parents had to sell their house and downsize their lives greatly. I heard later on, through the grapevine, that the two of them were not doing great. Even after downsizing their life and moving into their tiny apartment, their savings were not enough to take care of them for the rest of their lives. I heard that both of them are working again, although because their company's reputation was tarnished, there wasn't a single serious job that would hire them. As a result, I've heard that they are both working multiple part-time jobs, barely making enough to cover their expenses. Finally, Max and I found out that I was pregnant. Of course, with Max's baby. I'm already several months pregnant, and we're excited to welcome our baby into a world where they won't be controlled by their cruel grandparents. We even told Rachel and John about this, and they were so excited to meet their new niece or nephew. Although I was also skeptical about Max's parents, I am so happy that my marriage to him has brought me closer to his brother and Rachel. It just goes to show you that family is more than a complex system of blood ties. It is about finding the people who make you feel safe and loved and never letting them go. Although there's no guarantee that something crazy won't ever happen in life again, I doubt it would ever be as ludicrous as what Max's parents tried to do to me. And as long as I can protect my family from anything like that happening to them, then I will have felt like I have succeeded as a wife and mother.
Hannah, I just wanted to let you know that my mom is really upset over what happened at the funeral earlier.
Wait, what? Is she mad at me? Well, that's not fair. I didn't even do anything.
What are you talking about? You weren't helping anyone while we were setting up. Not only that, but when people began to show up, you weren't talking to anyone at all.
Well, I'm sorry, okay? I just don't feel great is all.
Well, if that was the case, then I wish you would have said something about it to any of us at any point.
I said I'm sorry, okay? Jeez.
Well, you need to do more than just apologize with your words. Show that you mean it with your actions. Because if you don't, then I'm the one that has to hear about it from Mom later on, okay?
Okay. I really am sorry. I didn't mean to make Mom gripe to you all the time.
And you know what the craziest thing is? My mom is one of the nicest and kindest people, and yet you're one of the few individuals I have seen who is able to make her angry.
I really am sorry, okay, Lars? You know that I really do want her to like me, right?
And I'm sure that the day when she comes around to you is going to come very soon now. But it's only been a year since we've been married. And yet even then, every single time you and my mom have been together, she has a comment for you.
I think it's because I'm always apologizing. I think a lot of people in my life have told me to get rid of that bad habit.
Well, I don't mind it all that much. I guess I would rather that than someone who never apologizes for anything. You know, there are these women in my office who are always talking so loudly with each other and laughing so the whole office can hear it, and it really does drive me nuts.
I guess I forget that you have to deal with your own problems at the office as well, huh?
Well, I don't complain too often, but it's true. You know, you really are lucky to have married me. Now you get to stay home instead of being at work and having to deal with those women. Huh. I mean, the only reason they're still in the office at all is because no one has married them yet. So you should consider yourself lucky that you're a housewife.
You really think housewives have it that easy, do you?
Well, just think about it. How many women these days even get to be housewives anymore? It's a luxury that's fading fast, you know?
Well, anyways, I'm going to get back to studying, I guess.
Sure thing. But just don't get any funny ideas, okay? Because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's a chick who thinks she knows a thing or two about something.
Right, I'll be sure. Study, but not learn.
That's the spirit. You know what's great about you, Hannah? You're obedient. You're just following along, and I think that's great. Hey, maybe if you just always did what others told you to, then my mom might actually end up liking you.
I guess there's really no reason why I should give up trying to get to know her better.
You really feel that? Even though she's twice as strict with you than she is with anyone else?
But what else can I do? If I don't get close to her, then we'll just never get along. I have to do something.
Well, I'm just saying that I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to give up at this point.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? What do you mean, give up?
I mean, just like, give up trying to be friends with my parents and relatives and all.
But won't they all start to talk about you or scold you at family gatherings?
I'm sure they'll get over it. I'm not that worried. Besides, I'm sure they might not even notice that you weren't there at some of these family gatherings, you know?
You really think your family wouldn't care if I just dropped off the map like that?
Pretty much. And it seems like the best move if you really want to avoid them as much as you've been saying. Like, why bother putting yourself in the position where you'll have to deal with them?
Well, it's not like I have a problem with all of your family. Or do they all just secretly have problems with me?
Well, it's kind of hard to like a downer of a wife who can barely make eye contact when she speaks to people. I just don't think you have many fans among my family.
But well, I guess that I just never knew that is all.
Are you telling me that you really need me to spell this all out for you? Well, there. Now you know the truth. I hope it helps. But surely you could have guessed that if my mom doesn't like you, then no one in my family would like you.
You're right. I don't know how I didn't realize that before.
Well, anyways, it's about that time that I should be heading back to work now. I was thinking we could do some kind of roast for dinner. I'm sure you'll figure that out. Glad we could have this talk.
A roast. Sure. I'll get right on that. Have a good rest of your day, Lars.
2 weeks later. Hey, Hannah. I just wanted to let you know that my boss just told me I'm going to have to work overtime today. So don't bother making any dinner for me, okay? Just for yourself tonight.
Oh, really? Shoot, I already started cooking dinner, though. You could just have some of this when you get home, if that's alright.
Nah, I'm going to have dinner here at the office. I don't need any of the food that you're cooking. You know, I hate eating food that's been left out for a few hours.
Right. I'm really, really sorry, Lars. I can make you something from scratch when you get home if you'd like that instead. What time do you think that you'll be back from work tonight?
I'm probably not going to be back from work until around 11 tonight.
Okay then, just tell me when you've left the office. That, and I have one last little favor to ask of you.
You have a favor to ask of me? Well, what is it?
Well, the thing is that my parents messaged me and asked if I would go out and visit them for a little while.
Yeah, but your parents live really, really far away, don't they?
They do, and I would probably be going to stay with them for a few days at least. I mean, it's already been a whole year since I last got to see them, you know?
You're gonna stay with your parents for 3 whole days? But then who's gonna cook for me on those days?
Maybe you can ask your mom to come and stay with you for that time that I'm gone?
And you really think that's gonna go well for you when my mom already hates your guts?
Okay, then, you don't have to invite your mom. Maybe you can just have something delivered or something like that?
So you mean that you expect me to eat food cooked for me by some stranger who could put anything into my order? You really have some nerve. Do you know that?
I'm sorry, Lars. I didn't know that this would inconvenience you so much.
Besides, what I really want to know is this. You and I have been married for a whole year and my mom still doesn't approve of you. Now, are you really going to be able to go back to your parents after all this time just to inform them of that? Do you really think that is what they'll want to hear?
But it's my dad. He's going to have surgery on his hip.
Well, that doesn't sound like it could be fatal to me.
I know, but I just really want to see him before he has to have the surgery.
Hannah, go ahead and leave out whatever food that you were cooking tonight.
Wait, really? You want me to leave it on the stove for you?
That's right. Just leave it out like that for me, okay?
So are you going to eat my cooking when you get back home from work, then?
No, I'm not going to eat it, but I am going to use it.
Right, okay.
As for you going home, sure. Why not?
You mean you really don't mind if I do this?
I just have one condition before I say yes. From now on, you're going to have to do whatever I say. Got it?
Hannah, where are you right now? Oh, hello, Hilda. Is everything okay? What's the matter? I'm just out at the store doing some grocery shopping right now. You totally forgot to lock the house, Hannah. Don't you know how dangerous that is? I did? Oh no. Hilda, I'm really, really sorry. I totally forgot. I think it's much worse than just forgetting, Hannah. I mean, if I didn't come along, your whole house could have been burglarized. So then you're at my house right now? Is that what you're saying? Well, when I noticed what you had done, I realized that I had to step in to watch the house, of course. I'm so sorry you've had to do this for us, Hilda. I don't know what else to say. There you go, apologizing again. When are you going to learn another trick, huh? I don't know what you want me to say. I feel like this is all my fault, so I'm just apologizing because of that. But is there a reason why you wanted to come over? Was there something you needed with me? That's right. I had something that I needed to discuss with you, actually. Oh, really? You wanted to talk to me about something? What is it that you wanted to talk about? Well, before I can even get to that with you, we need to talk about something else entirely. I mean, really, what in the world is this, Hannah? What is it? What did I do now? I don't understand. Well, I am standing in your kitchen right now, and there is rotting meat and food that looks like it hasn't been touched in days. Did you leave all of this here? You weren't going to try and make Lars eat this, were you? Wait, but no, of course I wasn't. But that was cooking that I did make for Lars to eat. You mean that you did actually cook this? Did you have any of this yourself? Yes, of course I had some of the food. What are you talking about? You can't really be serious about that. But I am. Of course I ate some of it. Then I left what I didn't eat there and went to my parents' house. Hannah, please. Do you really think that I'm actually that stupid? Of course I don't think that you're stupid. Why would you ask something like that? I'm telling the truth, I swear. It's fine. You don't have to pretend for me. I know that you hate me. Lars has told me all about how you feel about me. So let's just drop the act and get this over with, okay? Hold on just a second, Hilda. I mean it when I say that I've done anything to try and belittle you. But that isn't true. You hate me and you hate having to spend time with my family too. It's my voice, isn't it? I know that it sounds horrible. That's why you never want to be in the same room as me, right? Hilda, please, it really isn't anything like that at all. But then why were you acting the way that you were at my husband's funeral? You didn't say a word to anyone and hardly even moved. And then when we all got up to get food, you just went to go sit in your car. Well, that's because I was injured. Injured? What do you mean by that? You didn't look injured.
Well, it was my ribs. One of them was broken.
Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you were attending that funeral with a broken rib? Why didn't you say anything?
Well, because I didn't know that it was broken until I went to the hospital the next day.
But how did you even get a broken rib in the first place?
Well, it was your son. It was Lars.
Lars broke your ribs. Is that really true?
Yes, though I understand why you wouldn't want to believe me. But I have texts from around then. Hilda, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up.
You're telling me that my son really did that to you?
He did. I swear to you that I'm telling the truth.
I understand. Well, in that case, you don't have to worry about doing the shopping. In fact, I want you to come back home right now.
But I have to cook something for Lars. If I don't, he'll get really mad at me.
It's okay. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm going to help you deal with Lars. Just show me all of the evidence that you have. I think I've been sold a bushel of lies. Let me hear things from your perspective now.
Hey, Hannah. I was just curious when you were going to be coming back here again. Because my mom was telling me about how she is going to set you straight when you get back here. Apparently, she's going to teach you a serious lesson. Are you scared? Does it make you nervous? Or are you ready for someone to finally show you how to be a good wife?
You really are just horrible. Do you know that? I really just can't even believe that you're really my son.
Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about? Have you finally lost your mind or something? You got so scared of my mom that now you're just manifesting her?
Oh, there's no manifesting going on here, Lars. It's me. It's your mother.
You really think I'm gonna believe a silly lie like that? Just how stupid do you think I am?
I've already heard everything that's been going on from Hannah.
What are you talking about? You are Hannah.
No. Hannah is sitting right here next to me. And I know all about how you've been tricking us both. You had me believing that Hannah did nothing all day but spend money. You told me that she hated me. And on top of that, you had the gall to hit her. Your own wife.
Is this really you, Mom?
Of course it's really your mom. I am only texting you on Hannah's phone right now. And you have got some serious explaining to do, young man. What in the world do you have to say for yourself?
Wait a second. You mean that you're just taking Hannah's word over mine in this? You know how much of a liar she is. You can't let her trick you like this.
Well, then how do you explain all the marks and bruises on her body, huh? That explains why she's always wearing long-sleeve shirts and pants. She's covering up the marks that you've left her with. Unless you're really going to try and tell me that she did all that to herself.
That's right. That's what it's got to be. Hannah's a total knot. She causes nothing but trouble for those around her.
And just what about those horrible messages that you had sent to her, huh? Or do you have a way to explain away those as well? Because I can clearly see now that you've been lying about Hannah to me this whole time.
But wait. You said that you were going to set Hannah straight. You said you were going to make her less selfish.
Just give it a rest already, Lars. You've been doing all of this so that you could hide what you've been doing to Hannah right under my nose. And you've been lying to me about her so that I keep my distance and don't look too close into what you've been doing. You even told Hannah not to talk to me anymore, isn't that right?
Mom, please. You really do have this all wrong. I'm telling you.
Then tell me how I've got this wrong. Tell me right now. You told me that she was spending all of your money, but how about you prove that to me right now? Do you even have proof of that?
Well, no. Not exactly.
There you go. You can't even prove a single claim that you've made about the poor girl. Not only that, but you left that food on the stove for her to eat. You really thought you could just turn her into your servant after you came back. You're just terrible.
But it's only because she was causing trouble for everyone around her. You have to believe me, Mom. It really was just for her own good.
I did trust you. And all you did was take abuse of my trust and lie to me. Well, I am not going to let you trick me with your lies again. The only one causing trouble for others around here is you, Lars. It's all your fault that Hannah and I have been avoiding one another. You're the reason we think we hate each other. How could you treat your own wife like that? I'm going to make Hannah leave you. She is getting a divorce.
Hold on. You can't be serious about that, right? That decision isn't even up to you.
Well, I'm only telling you what Hannah has told me she wants to do.
There's no way that she would really say that about us.
It doesn't feel so good to be on the other side of this now, does it? But you should know that Hannah isn't nearly as weak as you think. In fact, it's clear she has strength in the way she was able to take all this abuse from you without letting anyone know at all.
Just put her on the phone for me right now. I mean it. I can't talk to you like this, Mom.
What do you want from me, Lars? And just know that I have some things I want to say too.
Hannah, is that really you? You have to come home right away. You can't be with my mom anymore. She's being mean to you over there, right? Working you hard and forcing you to clean the house and all that?
Oh, she is working me hard, but now I don't mind it. It helps to know that we were both tricked about each other.
But, please, you have to know that I was acting the way I was because I wanted to help you. You believe me, right?
You were trying to help me? Is that why you hit me, Lars?
I shouldn't have done that. You're right about that, and I'm very sorry. Well, you know how sometimes I can have a short temper. But you know that I don't actually mean what I do or say when I get like that.
I don't care. I just want a divorce and to end this.
Please don't be like this, Hannah. We can work through this, can't we? There's no point in splitting up. We rely so much on each other.
I just can't do this with you anymore, Lars. It's over. I don't want to be with you any longer. To be honest, you scare me.
Hannah, please. You have to know how sorry I am. I swear that I'll never hit you again. Just please come back to me.
I've heard you say that to me for too many times to trust you now. Can't you see that I'm tired? Although I didn't think I would be this exhausted after just a year into being married. At first, I thought I just wasn't being patient, but now I see that it wasn't my fault at all. It was yours.
But I'm telling you that I'm through hurting you. I promise. I need you.
Well, I don't need you. That's the thing. And I never, ever want to be married to you again. You've hit me, fed me rotten food, insulted me. Why would I stay with you after all that? You've done nothing but make me miserable.
But I can change. I promise I can.
I hope that's true for your sake. But whether you can or not, I won't be there to see. After that, both sets of our parents got involved, and it made it much easier to get a smooth divorce process from Lars. Especially since I couldn't muster the bravery to talk to him face to face. For that, I really need to thank Hilda. She helped tell Lars what I wanted to say and was so patient with me. But without me there for him to hang his anger out on, I heard that Lars' stress only continued to build up until he exploded on a coworker while at work. He was yelling at one of those ladies he mentioned to me a while ago. And though he was only put on a work probation, that didn't last long. I decided to sue Lars for his physical abuse, and after he was arrested and charged for it, his company decided to let him go. Then his parents decided to cut him off and move to a new state. I still keep in touch with Hilda, though. She said that they got a message from Lars once, but she deleted it and blocked his number. As for me, I moved back in with my parents and have slowly been getting over what I'd been through. I am getting better at socializing and trying to trust those around me again. But it isn't easy. A good thing to know is that Lars is never going to come near me again.
Hey there, Lisa. It's been a while since you and I got to talk, right? I was just curious if you had finally found a date to have your wedding on.
Hello there, Anne. It has been a while since you and I have last talked, hasn't it? And actually, yes. We just so happened to settle on a day to have our wedding at a few days ago, thanks for asking. It is going to be on October the 28th at 1 in the afternoon. Of course, I'll send you an invitation with all of this written on it beforehand. But I really do hope that I can see you there.
Wow, so you finally nailed down a date. I was thinking you guys were never going to narrow it down. Well, that is huge then. I just have to say congratulations on that, Anne. That's really stellar.
Well, I can't really say that I blame you for wondering when it was finally going to happen. After all, Troy and I have been engaged for 2 years now. I know Mom and Dad have been really wanting us to hurry up and just get married already.
Well, still, either way, this is some great news, and I'm really happy to hear that this is all working out for you, sis. And I just know the family is going to be excited to finally have an excuse to gather everyone and have a big reunion. Not to mention all the booze that you're going to have at the wedding.
You're not wrong about that. If there's one thing that's been a constant at every single family reunion, it's been a lot of drinking.
Yeah, but anyways, have you decided what kind of wedding you're going to have? Like, is it going to be themed after anything, or are you going to go for something a bit more unique? After all, this is only something that you do once, so you have to make the most of it. I mean, do you remember the fireworks display that I had for my wedding last year?
Yeah, that really was something. I still go back and watch the videos I took from that day because it was so amazing.
Well, what if you tried doing some big display like that? I bet all the guests who showed up would love to be treated to something like that.
I don't know. I loved your wedding, but I think I might just try and keep it a bit more basic. I don't want to go over the top or anything, you know?
What? You're kidding me, right? You mean you don't want to go all out for your special day?
No, I totally respect people doing that, but it's just not my style. You know that I've never really liked sticking out or anything like that. Besides, just as long as it's a ceremony that Mom and Dad can enjoy, that's what my real goal for it is. They were actually messaging me the other day wondering whether or not I had already found a wedding dress.
But I don't get it. Why wouldn't you want to throw the most spectacular wedding that you possibly could? I put so much effort into mine to make sure that it was basically like a big party. And it was a big party too, and everyone had a great time.
Your wedding was amazing, Anne. It really was. But I guess everyone just wants different things for their big day, you know? And I've always been a fan of keeping things simple, so...
Well, sure, but if you're really going to have such a boring wedding, then all the guests are going to be really bored the whole time, don't you think? I mean, isn't it better to plan something that everyone is going to be excited for? Besides, everyone knows that only poor people have boring weddings.
You really think so? Because I don't really think that anyone likes spending more money than they have to for something.
I'm sorry, sis, but you're sounding really, really poor right now. It's kind of cringy. Like, I can tell that you're poor because people with means don't think in such stingy ways.
I really don't think that one thing has to do with the other at all.
I mean, just take me, for example. Not only did I have a crazy, extravagant wedding, but then we went all out for the honeymoon, too. Now that's how you get married.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you had the means to do all of that.
That's right, and that's what separates us from the normal and poor people. After all, my husband makes over $1 million a year. And it's all thanks to my husband making those big bucks that we were able to do all of that.
Okay, well, it's like either Troy or I are poor, you know? I just think that maybe we're not as driven by material things as you are. In fact, we were really just thinking of inviting family and close friends while trying to keep it as small as possible.
Don't you think that's just sad, though? I mean, you're the star of the show that day, and yet you're trying to make it so that you're barely even the center of attention. If only you were marrying someone rich like I did, then you might get what I'm saying a little more.
I really don't think that's the case. I'm just not interested in having a wedding like that at all. This is something I've talked over with my fiancé and that we've both agreed to. We really just don't care about having an expensive wedding.
One of these days, you are going to have to learn that money is what makes the world go round. And you might have learned that lesson earlier if you had married rich. We may look alike because we're sisters, but you and I are actually complete opposites.
Okay, well, I really don't want to be talking about the budget of our weddings anymore. I mean, you had your wedding, and it was great. I'll have mine, and it'll be great too. Can't we just agree on that?
I'm sorry, but now if my wedding is great, then your wedding is going to be a boring drag that people will be falling asleep through. I really don't want you to compare my amazing wedding to this lame show that you're trying to put on. Can you at least make sure the food is good then?
Sure thing. I can do that at least. Were you going to be bringing your husband to my wedding?
Of course we're both going to show up there. I know that my husband is busy with all his enterprises, but I asked him to set aside some time for this a while ago.
Well, I'm sorry that it took us this long to get a date down, but hopefully he's ready to take the time off. Anyways, when we have them printed, I'll send you the invitations. And tell your husband we look forward to seeing him there too.
Lisa, are you there? It's just awful. Things are really bad at the chapel.
Things are bad? What do you mean? What is going on over there? The wedding is about to start.
I know, but this crazy lady burst into the wedding and now she won't leave.
A crazy lady? What do you mean? Does she know anyone there? Who is she? What is she doing? Is she bugging the other guests or something?
I don't know who she is at all, but she keeps running around the chapel yelling cheater and homewrecker. The staff are here trying to corral her into a corner, but it's a serious scene over there.
What does that mean? Why would she be shouting those things at my wedding? I don't get it.
I have no idea. Someone tried to talk her down, and she just kept going on about how we were all here for a cheater's wedding. She even demanded to see the bride-to-be.
But that would mean that she's talking about me, right?
I mean, I don't know what she's talking about, but I guess that would be you.
So this lady is calling me a homewrecker? I don't get it. I haven't done anything like that in my life. Seriously, what is going on? Who is this person?
I have no idea, but they are seriously crazy, and someone needs to be here to deal with this person. She is super scary, though. She's got that crazy glint in her eyes, you know? Lisa, for your own safety, I think you should get out of here right now. You have to run away from your own wedding.
So you're telling me all the ruckus I was hearing from the changing room was this person then? If she's really that bad, then we need to think about this. Because chasing her off might just make things worse for us later.
But then what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to deal with someone like this and make sure the wedding goes off?
Okay, well, I think the first thing that we need to do is focus on calming this lady down. Don't try and chase her out or anything. Just put her in a waiting room. I have no idea who this lady is, but I think nothing is going to get down until she calms down. I'm sure there's some kind of misunderstanding here. So tell her that if she calms down, that I'll agree to talk to her.
But don't you think that could be dangerous? Why in the world would you want to talk to this lady at all?
Well, because I know that I've never done any cheating in my life, so this woman has got the wrong person. I have no idea why she thinks that I'm the woman she's looking for. But I want to explain to her that it's not me and that she needs to forget all about what she's doing.
I really think that this is a bad idea, sis. I mean, don't you think it would be just easier to chase her away and make sure she never comes back?
Just leave this to me, okay, Anne? I've dealt with similar situations in my line of work, so I'm used to this.
I suppose that's true. I sometimes forget that you're a crisis counselor.
Well, I am. And in my experience, chasing people in this mindset off without trying to calm them down can often be the most dangerous thing to do. Especially for the distressed person. So let's just calm this woman down and then I'll go and talk to her.
Well, okay. If that's really how you want to handle this, then I'll tell the staff that.
It'll be fine, Anna. I'll just make sure that I have someone with me when I go to talk to this woman. I really am sorry to drag this out like this. Also, has anyone been hurt? There haven't been any injuries caused by this woman, right?
No, I think everyone looks okay, just shaken up mostly.
Well, that's good to hear at least. Then okay, let's get this woman in another room and start the wedding. Hello there, Olga. I was just curious if you settled down.
Yes, I've calmed down, and I just wanted to say how sorry I am about earlier. I guess I just got excited and started seeing red, and the next thing I knew, I was in this room.
Well, that's okay. The good thing is that you didn't hurt anyone and you're perfectly safe where you are.
How can you be so calm in a situation like this? I mean, I ran into your wedding, caused a scene, scared everyone. I'm just amazed you even want to talk to me.
Well, I just couldn't bring myself to throw you out without hearing your reasoning for doing all of this. Would you mind telling me exactly what brought you here today? By the way, I'm talking to you through text since I think everyone else here at the wedding basically insists that it was safe this way.
I know, but even giving me your number like this, don't you think that that's risky too?
I know that you were causing a scene, but I'm not sure if that alone makes you a dangerous person. After all, you didn't really break anything and nobody was hurt in the end. In fact, I think you were trying to make sure that you didn't hurt anyone. And so I just can't call someone with that much forethought and consideration a dangerous person.
But I just don't get how you're so calm right now. You must have some idea by now of why I came here, but I am sorry for causing that scene I did. I I can't forgive my husband for cheating on me the way he did.
Well, I suppose the calmness just came with my job. After all, I am a counselor by profession. So I guess I'm good at keeping my cool while others are going through crises of their own, even if I have my own crisis going on as well. And I wouldn't call this a crisis, but I do have a lot going on right now.
Wait a second, you're a counselor? You mean that you're not a housewife?
No, ma'am, I'm not a housewife. And as for cheating, well, I can't think of any time that I've ever slept with someone who I knew was already in a relationship.
But that can't be right. I have proof that I gathered as far back as 6 months ago of you and my husband. I have photos and everything.
I see. Well, do you mind if I ask just where these photos were taken?
They are from different spots, all where you two were going out on dates together. It's clearly you in the photo. There's no doubt about it. You're wearing a really nice designer skirt in some of them.
An expensive skirt, huh? Would you mind giving me a moment? Also, just a quick question. In the photos, was my hair brown?
Yes, your hair was brown in these photos.
Well, I think you should know that I don't have brown hair. And my hair is rather black. And since I have sensitive skin, I've never dyed my hair.
I'm sorry, but just saying that isn't going to make me believe you. You still could have dyed your hair black or something.
That is true. But I am telling you that I've never taken part in any affair at any time in my life. That I swear to you.
But even if that were true, my husband still cheated on me. I have the photos.
That may be true, but I am only trying to tell you that you've got the wrong person. It isn't me in those photos. But after hearing your story, I think I might have an idea of what is going on here. Basically, you were looking for a housewife with brown hair and an expensive taste in clothing, right?
I suppose so, when you put it like that. And the woman is also someone who looks strikingly like you. But are you telling me there's someone out there who fits that description?
That is exactly what I'm telling you.
Wow, that was a real mess, but at least the wedding is finally over, so congrats on that and on finally being married. I have to say, though, that wedding was a lot more lively and exciting than I thought the original was going to be. I mean, who would have ever expected all of that to happen? By the way, what did you end up doing with that crazy lady?
Well, I talked to her, that's all.
I still can't believe that you would even go so far as to do that for her. I really think that you should have just kicked her out without giving her the time of day.
I understand that, but the woman was quite distressed and not for no reason either. I just knew that her and I had to talk so that I could try and calm her down and explain to her how she was mistaken. And I think the woman actually got a lot out of our conversation.
You think that crazy lady was listening to anything that other people were telling her? I don't know, I think she just wanted attention. But hey, you insisted on talking to her and you did, so more power to you, I guess.
Sorry, you're still missing all the important details here. What we talked about was this affair that had upset her so much. In fact, we even agreed to meet up outside the wedding and chat about this again. And we're going to have the cheating woman herself there, too.
Wait a second. You mean that you were the cheater that the lady was screaming about?
No, Anne. It wasn't me that she was looking for. It was you. You were sleeping with this woman's husband and she mistook me for you.
Wait, what? Are you crazy? I haven't slept with anyone's husband.
Please, why even pretend to play dumb about this right now? I already know the whole truth. There is no point in hiding anything.
Wait a second. You aren't going to tell me that you really think I was sleeping with some lady's husband, do you? Or is this your way of trying to accuse others of a crime that you committed?
No, it's not either. It's just a fact. You were sleeping with Olga's husband. The haircut, makeup, build, face. It was all you.
You have some real nerve sleeping with my husband, you rat! Wait, Lisa, is that you? Why did you start talking to me like that? It's not Lisa, it's Olga. You know, the wife of the man you were having your affair with? You mean this is the crazy lady that barged into my sister's wedding? That's right, the very lady. And let me be the first to apologize for the scene that I made earlier today. But I only hope that my actions showed just how desperate of a mental state I was in. I had actually been in the hospital. I was so shocked to find out that my husband was cheating. And so what? What does this have to do with me? It sounds to me like you were looking for my big sister, not me. I think we both know that isn't true. You see, your sister explained a lot to me during our conversation, and she also explained how often you two get mixed up for each other. Wait a second, this is ridiculous. You're telling me that you made a mistake and thought I was my sister? Well, what if you're just making a mistake about all of this? Because I know that I didn't do any of what you're saying I did. Well, then do you care to explain how it is that you showed up in all these photos I've collected? You and my husband together, that is? And just what did you think was going to happen when this came to light? Did you really think that your affair was going to be a secret forever? Listen to me, lady. I do not have to sit here and read message after message from some total crazy butt like you. You're telling me that you're going to try and get your revenge? What can you even do, huh? I know that you think I'm only capable of running around and creating a scene like I did earlier, but after talking to your sister, I finally know what I should do. And just what is that you think you should do, huh? Well, obviously I'm going to sue you for the affair you were having with my husband. After all, I'm clearly going to gain more from that than just causing a ruckus. That's actually what we were all going to talk about tomorrow. I was going to invite everyone involved to talk divorce and lawsuits. And so I really do hope that you can make it there. After all, you're going to be the star of the show. But are you kidding me? There's no way I would ever actually show up to something like that. And just who do you think you are to act all high and mighty when you nearly ruined my sister's wedding? If anyone should be getting sued, it's you. Well, I've already talked with Lisa about that, and she said that she isn't going to be pressing charges. She told me not to worry about that and just to focus on you instead. You mean that my sister was really just willing to let what you did go? But what was she thinking? I would worry less about that and more about what you're going to say tomorrow. See you then.
Hey, Anne. You knew that you were supposed to be here already, right? We're all ready to start talking.
No, there's no way I'm actually going to go and face all those people like this. You can't make me.
Well, you should know that your husband and our parents are here right now. But not a single one of them are here to take your side in this.
You mean that they're all mad at me for what I did? Then that makes me want to go even less. Why would I go there if everyone is just going to be so mad at me? Why would I go if I'm just going to be told that I'm going to be sued for what I did?
Anne, you are acting like a child right now. You need to learn to accept responsibility for your actions.
But I didn't even do anything that horrible. Why can't Olga just divorce her husband and be done with this?
It's not just Olga that might be getting divorced here. Your husband isn't happy to find out about this either, you know? He is also talking about getting a divorce from you and suing you just like Olga is. And quite frankly, I don't think that I can blame either of them for feeling that way about what you've done to them.
But this isn't fair. Everyone cheats sometimes, right? It's not actually that big of a deal, is it? Even if my husband cheated on me, I don't think that I would be treating him like this.
Well, that may be how you feel about it from where you're standing, but you can't exactly call yourself the victim in all of this either, can you? And besides, even if that is how you feel about this, that isn't how your husband feels. And he has rights in this situation too, you know. More than that, you really hurt him. He was so shocked to hear about what you had done, and he never once thought that you would betray him like this.
But it's not like I don't love him. I love my husband with all my heart.
Oh, really? Because that isn't the sense I've gotten when you've talked about him. In fact, a while ago you were telling me all about how being able to marry rich was the most important thing when looking for a partner. You would always brag about how much money your husband made, but you never bragged about how happy he made you or how loved you felt being with him.
You can't do this. You can't just twist my words against me like this. It isn't fair. You're just assuming my emotions.
Oh, please. I'm not assuming anything. After all, you did cheat on your husband, and that's a fact. It's clear now that you're just trying to make up excuses to get out of the trouble you're about to find yourself in now.
How can you not be taking my side right now? We're sisters. You're supposed to be my friend. I can't believe you're treating me like some kind of criminal.
You know, I think that the way you're acting right now is just pathetic. I wish you could just accept responsibility for what you've done. Haven't you put everyone here through enough already? You need to act your age and stop keeping us all waiting. Get over here right now, Anne. Or else. After that, Anne realized that she had nothing to gain and everything to lose from not showing up to the talk. She arrived, and it wasn't long before she had burst into tears and was begging everyone for forgiveness. Although in exchange, she only offered up excuses for her behavior. We couldn't believe she was being so self-centered in the end, and no one said anything to console her. In the end, she realized nobody was going to step in to defend her and that she could either settle with her husband and Olga now for her affair or deal with them as two separate lawsuits. Needless to say, Anne and her husband did not stay together. In the end, Anne had to spend every cent she had to pay off those two. She was also kicked out of her house by her husband and was ultimately forced to move into a tiny, cramped apartment and take on multiple jobs just to be able to take care of herself and keep up with her expenses. As for Olga, she took the money that she got from her settlement with Anne and used it to hire a lawyer so that she could finally divorce her husband. Of course, Olga also sued her husband for cheating on her as well, and so by the time the whole thing was over, Olga was well compensated for all the pain she had been put through by her sister and her husband. She thanked me very much for all my help, and we still keep in touch and go out for coffee now and then. After that, Anne begged me for help with money and finding a place to live and those sorts of things, but I never gave her anything. Even my parents told Anne that she needed to quit asking for help and learn to take responsibility for her own life. A little while after that, we all got letters of apology from Anne, and that was the last that we ever heard from her. I asked people who might have known what happened to my sister, but no one knew where she ran off to. She had no one who wanted to help her, and in the end wanted to start a new life in a new city. I have no idea where she is now. And quite frankly, I don't really care. I just hope that Anne manages to get her life together, if for no other reason so that she never puts anyone else through what she put Olga through again.
Hey, John. Are you there? I was just wondering how you were hanging in there. Is everything going okay?
Yeah, I think I'm starting to feel just a bit better. Are you already on your lunch break, Charlie?
Yeah, I just pulled my lunch out of the microwave, so I'm really just sitting down to eat right now. What about you? Have you already eaten? Do you think that you don't have much of an appetite or something? What about dinner? Do you find you're eating a bit more then?
I feel like at nights I'm really just eating the pudding cup that they give with their meals.
So you're not really eating anything in the morning, afternoon, or night? Can you request they bring you something else? Even just something easier to eat, like white rice or something?
Yeah, maybe I should ask them if they could do that for me.
Are you okay, John? You seem really down. Are you sure you're feeling okay?
I don't know. I guess I've just been really worried about whether or not I'll ever get better. I just don't feel good about this at all.
Oh, honey. I am really sorry. But you are going to be okay. I promise. You are going to get better, and you and I are going to overcome this together, okay?
I know, but it's been 2 years since I got my diagnosis, and I feel like nothing's changed at all. And I've had to take more and more time off of work. I'm just sure that this is only going to get worse for me.
John, please. You can't be so negative about this. I mean, I know it's been 2 years and that you're tired, but you have to hang in there, okay?
I know. By the way, there's something that I want to talk to you about. Do you mind if I ask you something?
Of course you can. You can ask me whatever you'd like, John.
I shouldn't quit my job, right? But at this rate, I'm going to run out of sick leave and end up losing all my paid time off as well.
I can't tell you to quit your job or stay. That's up to you. But I'll support you no matter what you choose.
I know. I just feel bad that I can't even be good at my company. I'm just useless to everyone. And I feel like the longer I stay out of the office, the more nervous I get about all the work that I'm not doing. And then that just makes me get even more stressed out. I just don't think that this situation is good for my mental state at all. You know what I mean?
Of course. And I think we both know that if you're stressed, then that can't be good for your condition. So maybe you should quit your job after all.
But then that means we'd be making way less money.
I know. But if it's for you, then I don't mind working hard to make sure we're both taken care of. You should just be focusing on getting better, okay? And then when you do, I'm sure you'll be able to find a place to hire you.
Okay, you're right. We'll both do our best so that we can keep taking care of each other. Thank you for everything, Charlie. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Of course. And even if you don't like the food, please do eat. Your body isn't going to get better on an empty tank, okay? Besides, don't you need to be taking your medicine with food in you? Because I think you need a little more than pudding cups to help aboard the meds.
You're right. I promise that I'll do my best to eat more. In fact, I was looking online about things people with my condition eat, so I don't aggravate my body anymore like that. Maybe I'll try some of these things I see online.
That could work. You try whatever you think is going to help you get better, as long as it's safe. I hope that it works out for you.
Actually, would you mind doing a little research into these things for me?
You want me to look online for what people with your condition do to manage it in their daily lives?
I mean, I'll also look into some information, but there's just been so much going on out there. I would really appreciate any help that you can offer.
Well, okay. But you know that I don't really know much about medicine or anatomy or anything. So I can look, but I really don't know how useful that'll be.
I'm sure that it'll be great. Thank you so much. And you know what? Now that I've decided to quit my job, I'm already starting to feel much more at ease. I finally feel like I can relax and really focus on getting better.
Hey, John. Just wanted to let you know that I'm about to run to go and work my night job. But I left you some food in the fridge, so just eat that while I'm gone, okay?
Great. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Of course. And yesterday I went out and bought all those snacks that you like, so maybe you can have some of those for dessert.
Man, you've really been working hard these days, though. I feel like you've gone to work this night job of yours almost every day this week, no?
Something like that. I mean, ever since your medical bills have gone up, I've had to start working 2 jobs, you know. Not to mention that at my main job, they gave us a smaller bonus than they normally do. So I've had to take even more shifts at my night job.
Man, it really stinks that both of your jobs pay you so little. But good luck. I know that you got this.
Thanks, John. By the way, how are you feeling? You seem to be doing a lot better lately. But are you feeling it?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, at least I feel like I finally have a real appetite again. I was even able to eat some greasy food from the Chinese food place down the street, you know?
Oh, wow. Well, that's great that you were able to eat that kind of food without letting upset your stomach. I guess it really seems like you've gotten better.
Yeah, but I did get really, really sleepy right after I got home that day. So I think that my body's still recovering its strength.
Right. But I mean, I remember when you were at your worst with this. You could hardly even move. Now you're way more mobile, eating more, feeling better. Are you sure that you're not completely recovered?
I'm not really quite sure about it, but I guess I have been receiving treatment for this for a while now.
Not only that, but you've made plenty of lifestyle changes on your own as well. Anyways, since you're feeling so better, would you mind doing the laundry and folding it while I'm at work, please?
Oh, about that. I don't think that's going to work. I'm just so exhausted.
Oh, really? Are you now?
Yeah, I don't know. I just got hit with a wave of tiredness. But I promise, once I feel better, that I'll take care of that. Maybe I'm not as recovered as I thought.
Right, of course. Well, I didn't mean to try and push you to do anything you're not feeling up to doing. But if you're really still not well enough to even do laundry, just make sure that you're getting proper rest, okay?
Yeah, of course. I'll try and take it easy for the rest of the night. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask you for a little more spending money when you have the chance. I ended up using all that you gave me before.
Wait, really? This is going to be the 3rd time this month that I'm paying you. What are you spending all your money on?
Pretty much food, really. When I feel better, I've been trying to eat out more, and I've been going into bars.
You've been going to bars?
Yeah, like I said, I think my appetite is starting to come back. It's really nice being able to eat out like this again. I mean, there are still times when my stomach gets a little funky, but compared to when I was barely eating, I feel like I've made a lot of progress.
John, I'm really, really happy that your appetite is coming back to you. But I think that if you're really having those days when you can get out of the house to eat, then maybe you could do just a little more around the house?
Yeah, of course. I'll be sure to do that. So anyways, can I get a little cash from you? I think that I'm going to go try to hit up some more restaurants this week.
Okay, sure thing. I guess I can give you some more money when I get back from work. Just please try not to spend it as quickly as you have been, okay? Oh, man. I am just beat. I feel like I've barely had anything to eat all day.
Oh, were you doing some overtime at your main job today?
Yeah, and today was just really, really bad. Actually, I was thinking that we could take a trip together and maybe stay the night somewhere nice.
You want to take a vacation together? I thought that you were really busy with work.
Well, yeah. That's actually exactly why I want to go out and have a little vacation or something. I just need a break from how awfully busy I've been with all this. Besides, you seem to be feeling a lot better, so maybe this could be like a test for you. Especially since we haven't gotten to go anywhere at all since you've gotten out of the hospital. So, what do you think? Want to travel with me?
Nah, I think I'm okay. Thank you. It's just not going to work.
You mean you think that you're still not physically up to something like that?
No, it's not that. Actually, if I could be honest, I feel perfectly fine now.
Oh, well, that's really good to hear. But then, if it's not that, what is it? Do you have something you're doing on the weekend?
Well, the thing is that you're not even going to be in this house anymore next month. So it just won't work at all.
Wait, sorry? What do you mean? Where am I going to be next month that I won't be in the house?
Well, I mean, since you're going to be getting divorced and all that.
I'm sorry, what? I don't get what you mean by that. What divorce are we talking about? Where is this coming from all of a sudden?
Oh, it's not all of a sudden. It's been building up for quite a while.
Really? Because I haven't really noticed anything that bad between us. What is this really about?
Well, the thing is that I found a guy who makes even more money than you do. And I'm going to go marry him instead. So, yeah, you can basically pack up your bags and leave whenever.
John, what the hell are you even talking about right now?
Are you even reading the messages I'm sending you? I'm trying to tell you that you and I are getting divorced. That's all there is to it.
But I don't get it. Why would you do this after all that we've been through together? I mean, you said that you were feeling completely better, right? Does that mean you're going to start working again?
Did I say I was going to try and find another job? I never remembered agreeing to any of that.
But I've been working so hard to support you. All that I've been doing for you. Don't you see that? How can you just abandon me like this? And for some random guy? You're really just leaving me because he makes more?
Well, yeah, of course you helped me back when I was sick. I'm your husband, and that made it your job to take care of me. But now that I'm healed, I just don't see a point in being with you anymore. I mean, are you really saying that I owe you for all that you've done for me?
What kind of question is that? I was the one who was by your side for all of this. Even now, I've been working multiple jobs just to give you all the time you need to recover.
Man, you must really think that the earth revolves around you or something, huh? Although I might be more inclined to listen to you if you made more money than you do now.
You don't think I'm making enough money when I'm out here busting my butt with 2 jobs and working as many shifts as I can? Do you have any idea just how exhausted I am when I go to bed? And how tired I still feel when I wake up? Not only that, but on top of earning all of the money around here, I also take care of everything to do with the house.
Okay, sure. I guess I'm a little grateful. But if you were just taking care of me because you thought you were going to get something from it, I think that says more about you than it does me.
I don't believe this. I seriously don't even know how to respond to that. You can't honestly feel that way, right? Besides, if you've already found someone else to marry while we're still together, then are you telling me that you've been cheating on me?
Yeah, I guess now that you put it in that way, I have been. But so what?
Then what about the money that I've been giving you? Is that where you've been spending everything that I've been giving you? Is that why you've been going out all the time? Just to be with your new sugar daddy?
I mean, did you really think I was spending all that money just eating out by myself? Man, you can really be kind of stupid sometimes. Do you know that?
How dare you talk to me that way? You're the worst. Just awful. I've been working myself to the bone so that you can take the time that you needed to recover. And now you tell me that you've just been taking advantage of all that I've done for you?
Look, the fact of the matter is that I'm just not attracted to you anymore, okay? And I think we could both agree that it's mostly your fault for that. And that's why it's clear to me that it's just no point in keeping this up anymore. So anyways, I'm gonna go marry this other guy, and you need to pack your bags and leave, okay?
Okay, fine. If that's the way you want it, then no more Mr. Nice Charlie. You are not going to get away with this, you jerk. I will make you pay. Do you hear me?
I don't hear anything because we're just texting each other. But anyways, I doubt that there's anything real you can do. Besides, we're not kids or anything like that. You could just try and threaten me to have me hear your way.
You think this is things going my way? This just shows how little you actually know. I am not going to let you get away with this.
Hey, Charlie. You unlock the door to the house right now. What the heck do you think you're doing, huh?
Oh yeah? I don't think that your keys are going to work anymore.
What did you do? This some kind of joke or something? Open the door for me this second.
Would you please stop making such a ruckus outside my front door? You're going to upset my neighbors. In fact, you can go ahead and just turn around and stop texting me too.
You really think you could just get rid of me this easily?
Well, we already signed the divorce papers, so I really don't see why we need to keep interacting with each other. So anyways, you can go ahead and consider yourself moved out of the house.
But I told you I was going to be the one out here living here, not you.
What are you talking about? You really think that you were going to divorce me and keep the house? You must have forgotten that I'm the one with my name on the lease. You don't have any say in this place.
You little punk. You really think that you could just scam me out of my home like this?
Did you really just ask me that? That's so rich.
Well, at least give me back all my stuff. Then I can go.
You have your phone and your wallet, don't you? What else do you think you own around here?
Ugh, my clothes? The PlayStation? My favorite mug?
Oh, you mean those things that I bought for you with my own money? Yeah, I don't think you're getting those. But maybe you can go on a little shopping trip with your new sugar daddy, right?
You little jerk. Do you really think you're going to get away with this?
Oh, I think I can, and I will. You're the one who's not getting away with what they wanted.
I don't even know what to say to all this except that I should have never, ever married you in the first place.
Oh, don't worry. That feeling is very, very mutual right now.
Well, fine. Keep the house. Keep my clothes. See if I care. I'm going to move into a new house with all my stuff and more. Besides, all that stuff you bought me was all cheap crappy anyways.
Great. Sounds good. I'll just hold on to all of it then. You have a nice life, though.
You know, my new husband is 10 times more handsome than you, and he's going to give me everything. I'll never have to work a day in my life.
Great. That's awesome. I really hope you two are happy together. Now I'll say it again. Have a nice life, John.
What have you done? I know this is all your fault.
What are you going on about this time, John? Don't tell me that your new marriage isn't going well.
I knew it. I knew you did this to me. How could you?
Well, the thing is that I may have sent that new husband of yours a couple of images. Well, before I kicked you out of the house, I made sure to grab his number from your phone.
But when did you... How dare you do that to me?
When did I look through your phone? Well, while you were asleep, of course.
Well, what kind of things did you send him? What do you mean you sent him images?
Just a couple of documents. Don't worry, I had my lawyer draw them up.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm going to be suing for all the money I spent on you while you were in the hospital. Basically, I'm charging you for your own medical bills, not to mention the lawsuit I'm leveling at you both for your affair.
You can't be serious about that, right?
Of course. Although, I imagine that your new boo was quite surprised, wasn't he? He had no idea what he was getting sucked into with you.
But then, just how much money are you demanding from me?
Just $60,000. Not that much.
Are you crazy? Do you really think that I could pay all that?
While you were in the hospital, you agreed to get that fancy experimental treatment, and that was not cheap.
But then, you're really going to make me pay that much?
Well, I spent that much money on you to get better. Or did you really have no idea just how much I had spent on you?
This can't be happening. You're crazy if you think you're going to make me pay all of that. You kicked me out of the house. You inflicted serious mental stress to me. No judge would ever make me pay.
Well, that isn't what your husband seems to think.
But that's only because you were threatening him with money to break up with me.
Yeah, I can't really deny the truth to that. But I told you, didn't I? I told you that you wouldn't get away with this. I told you that I would have my revenge.
But you can't do this to me. It isn't fair. You're going to leave me with nothing. Charlie, please don't do this to me. Don't do this. Are you even reading these messages anymore? Charlie, please, I'm begging you. Charlie!
In the end, I took John to court for his affair, where he was forced to pay me for being unfaithful. Then, during the divorce proceedings, his lawyer was unable to keep him from paying me back for all the medical bills that I had paid while he was in the hospital. But because everyone knew of his cheating, not a single family member or friend wanted to help John. Even now, his ex-husband fled town after I told him I'd spare him a lawsuit as long as I never heard from him again. By the time it was all said and done, John ended up owing my almost $100,000. Of course, he didn't have a job, and so he had to go deep into debt to pay me that. The court found employment for him, but with such low wages, I've heard that John is working 3 jobs now and living in a tiny little apartment in the cheapest area of town. And as for me, not only was I able to move into a much nicer place with all the money I got from John, but I also got a huge promotion. My bosses noticed how hard I was working and decided to give me an upcoming position for general manager. So, while John is the one working himself to the bone to pay off what he had to pay me, I'm living it up by myself. Of course, the pain of being betrayed like it was still hurts, and I'm still recovering emotionally. But having this much money goes a long way in getting over a bad ex. I haven't heard from John since the divorce, and quite frankly, I wouldn't want to. I just hope that he never gets sick again like he did, because I'm not sure who would be there to take care of him like I was. But as long as he takes care of his health and manages to follow all of the lifestyle changes that I helped him make through my support, I'm sure that he'll be just fine. If not, well, what's more medical debt when you're already so deep? It wasn't like he was going to be able to pay it off in his lifetime anyways. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.